there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. This is part 4 of my makeup collection. These are all of my highlighters. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. In this video today, I'm going to give you an overview of all the highlighters currently in my makeup collection as a preparation for my makeup declutters that I will be doing for you in March. I just like to split those things up. I always have a larger makeup collection, and it just is very helpful for me to go through things first to see what are my favorites so that I go into things a little bit more prepared when I want to declutter, and I'm just taking you along for the ride. I will be swatching out all of these products here today as well, so we can also compare and contrast to see how similar some of these things are, because that is always a great basis for me to decide what I want to declutter in the end. I've got a bit of everything here. There's powders, there's liquids, there's creams, there's a whole host of things here. One of my neighbors is currently getting married, so if you hear any noise in the background, there is a whole drum band outside of the door of my house. So if you do hear anything, I do apologize, but it's nice bright light weather today, so I do want to make the most of filming all of these videos today for you, as many as I can, because I am filming them back to back and I am pre-filming. So yes, let's get to these highlighters so we can chat about what's in my makeup collection. As far as I know, I do have reviews up with all of these products, if not most of them. There may be some newer bits here that I haven't slightly gotten around to, but to be quite fair, I haven't really been into buying a lot of highlighters. Most of the things that are here I've just had for a very long time. So I know what my favorites are. At least I think I know pretty well what my favorites are. So let's just get to all of these different highlighters. The first things that stands out to me is this Nars highlighter. This is in Forte, France. I haven't used this in such a long time. This is also one of the very few Nars things I still have in my collection, I think. And even though I really like Nars, this rubberized packaging, it just gets sticky after a while, and this is getting to that point where the rubber gets a little bit sticky because I've had it for such a long time. And for a very long time, this is one of my favorite highlighters to wear in the festive season, but I have actually made that my Fenty Beauty one, so we can get to that next, I guess. So I haven't used this in the longest time, and I think actually that the last time I even reached for this was when I last showed it to you in my makeup collection video last year. So I'm not sure whether this is something I definitely need to keep or not. It is really beautiful. It's more of a lighter champagne shade. That's how I would describe it. It is beautiful, but shades like this, I don't really reach for, so not so sure about that one. Well, maybe good to know that I don't necessarily have to get rid of anything here because everything still fits into the drawer really, really well, because I just haven't been buying that many highlighters. But as I mentioned, I have replaced my Forte de France with the Fenty Beauty Diamond Balm in How Many Carats. I had it in my Shop My Stash again for December. I love this in the winter time because it has that sparkle to it. Because in low light situations, this looks super pretty on the skin. I wouldn't wear this in the sunlight because then you can see the actual particles in it. But when you use it with candlelight and low light situations like you have in the holiday season, it is really, really beautiful. I have these two from Essence and Catrice that were released around the same time. They are both promoted as doing the same thing, but I don't find they do the same thing at all. The Meta Glow is more of a duochrome, whereas the Space Glam from Catrice is a true multichrome. So the Meta Glow from Essence is your blue to purple shifty sort of highlighter. This is also beautiful as eyeshadow, so if you don't want to put anything like this on your face, you definitely don't have to. So I'm hoping the shift will show up because it's pink to bluish lavender, you could say. But it is sheer enough that when the light doesn't hit it, it is fully transparent, which I enjoy. And then the Catrice Space Glam has been my favorite. This is in Beam Me Up. They only do it in one shade. You can see how much I've used it. This was in my 2022 makeup favorites. And this I feel is better at giving you that multi-chrome because it definitely has more of a champagne base at first, but then it has blue, pink, and a little bit of that peachy gold to it as well. So this is a true multi-chrome. It's not as intense as the Kaleidos ones. I do have another Kaleidos highlighter in here, but I also have the two Space Age highlighters from Kaleidos, but those I don't use on my face. They're actually with my single shadows because I prefer them as eyeshadows because they're so intense. So speaking of Kaleidos, they're Mars Melter. I used to have a bunch of these. I think I had the entire line at some point, and I decluttered all of them because the ones I used the most were so similar to other highlighters I already had. And from the more special things, the Mars Melter in the original version is the one I decided to keep around. And this is still really special to me. It is essentially a transparent base, but then it has a very vibrant, like pink to red shift almost. I believe Kaleidos called it magenta. So that is a beautiful highlighter as well, and very different from other things that I actually have in my collection. I just haven't reached for it for a while. I actually think that most of these are pretty standard shades. A lot of them are a little bit more pink tone leaning. So next up is the Fenty Beauty Killawat highlighter in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. I already hit pan before on the more intense side of this highlighter, but the more subtle shade is what I hit pan on in 2024. This way you can perhaps see it a little bit better. I have huge dents in both sides. Really, really pretty, but these are nowhere near done. But this is one of my favorite highlighters of all time. I really, really like this. So here's the more subtle side, which is what I tend to go for nowadays. And this is the more sparkly side, which is the Fire Crystal side. But I've really been loving Lightning Dust. And I would love to try the Demi Glow highlighters by Fenty. That's a highlighter that's still on the wish list, but I haven't been able to find it in stock in any of the stores I went to in 2024. So that was a bit of a shame. This Catrice number was in a limited edition collection for winter, I think 2022 or 2023, I don't exactly remember. It's in the shade Lilac Frozen Glow, and this is a really beautiful sort of like light gold, but then it does have a little bit of a cool tone shift. I can't really explain it to you. I'll put it right here. I'm not sure if you can see this very well. It's also, again, a little bit more subtle. This is not something I necessarily feel I need to keep around though, because I haven't reached for that one in a while. A highlighter that is so old that it may just have to go into a makeup memory box at some point is by Urban Decay. They discontinued these Afterglow highlighters super quickly. I have Aura, and this is such a good lavender highlighter. You can see I've used this so much back in the day because there is a good sizable dent in this. So I wouldn't be mad about like retiring it from my collection. I would definitely never ever get rid of it because it was such a staple. But this does have a quite strong white base, so that may be why I'm no longer reaching for this, because I feel we've just moved on for that. And to be quite fair, the reason why I've moved on from that is because I've always loved this Becca thing so much more. This is my Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Prismatic Amethyst. I mean, speaking of a dent, right there in the middle, you can really see I went to town with this one. And I just always felt that these were quite similar to one another. It's just that I like the Becca better because it has a bit more glow. But they are pretty much identical. So maybe the shade Aura, it's just time to retire. I still like my Becca ones. Do I still reach for these a lot? No, they're sort of like hidden in the back of a drawer. I tend to reach for some of the more subtle things a lot more than I do these more intense things. But you know what? Something is telling me that intense highlighter is gonna come back, and then I would be so sad that I decluttered these. I have Pearl here, which is a straight up white. Let me put that one here. And here is Vanilla Quartz, which also has a good sizable dent. And see, Vanilla Quartz is again pretty similar to what Nars' Forte the Franz does. It just has a little bit more of a peachy pink vibe, whereas this is a bit more golden, and I do prefer that. So I definitely think it may be time to say goodbye to the Nars because it's just too similar to other things I already have. A discovery of 2024 was this, the Kruidvat Lighten Up Diamond Glow Highlighter in Champagne Pelican. And this I may actually have to swatch next to the Nars one, because it reminds me a lot of a Nars highlighter I used to have. I don't think it's the same to this. It's more of a white gold. It's right there. It's very subtle again, so I just like those kind of highlighters a lot more nowadays. A very intense highlighter that I do still reach for from time to time are these More Than Glow highlighters from Catrice. This is in shade 10, Ultimate Platinum Gaze. And this came in heaps of shades, and it's just really, really stunning. And it was very, very intense. Let me see where to put it. Let me put it here. So yeah, that also has like this white gold sort of, I don't think you can see the reflect. It's right here. Then I really enjoy my Melt Morning Star highlighter. This is really, really pretty, but again, I just don't reach for this. I hardly ever use this anymore, but it is such a good one. And again, a little bit more intense compared to what I normally go for. It has a white base, but then it has like peachy pink, like champagne flash to it. It's really, really pretty, but I think the Melt one is no longer around, but this is very similar. This is the Prism highlighter from Clio in 02 Fairy Pink. Really, really pretty. I decluttered it by accident a couple of years ago, and then I repurchased it because I missed it in my collection. And this, in my brain, is very similar to the Melt because it also has that like champagne sort of vibe to it, but then it does have that pink glow to it. It's really, really pretty. And another one that's similar to it is MAC's Show Gold. I just love these gold to pinks. I just love them in the summertime, especially this one. This is the Extra Dimension highlighter from MAC in Show Gold. I'm not sure if they still do this though. I haven't heard anybody talking about these lately, so I've had mine for a while. So those are three that are almost like four that are almost identical, but I love all four of them. Is this better lighting wise? I think this is better. I'm just using daylight now. I don't have my lights on anymore because those were, I think, putting a little bit too much glare on all of these highlighters for you to even be able to see what these do. This is a really great subtle number. This is by Catrice. This is the Glow Lover Oil Infused in Glowing Peony. This is another great subtle one that is more pinky toned. I'm gonna swatch it right here for you. Really stunning, but softer. I also really like my Dior highlighter. This is in Couture Luminizer in Pink Glow, which looks like this, really nice pinky tone, which I'm gonna swatch next to the Catrice one here. The Dior one is a little bit lighter. The Catrice one has a bit more of a base. I had forgotten I owned this. It's that I pulled this out of my collection today. I was like, oh yeah, I still have Benefits Cookie as well. So I don't even know why I still have this. This I think should have been decluttered ages ago. If I just have the Becca ones as like a more intense highlighter, then I think I'm good to go. I don't necessarily need to keep this around. And this is so dark compared to everything else I have going on that maybe it's just time to say goodbye to that one. But I love a good peachy toned highlighter, and this has been my peach toned highlighter of choice for years. This is by Nabla. This is their Skin Glazing Glass Skin Finish Glow Powder in the shade Privilege. These were all the rage for a while on YouTube, and I don't understand anymore why nobody's talking about them anymore. I know they're not new, but they're still really good products. So I love going back to these things. So it's very similar to Cookie, but it has a much more sophisticated formula. So if I'm going to keep a peach toned highlighter, it's going to be this one for sure. Then a fair skinned highlighter that I really enjoy is another MAC Extra Dimension. This is in Double Gleam. And this is another one of those like white gold kind of things. I'll put it here so you can hopefully see a little bit better. But that is super shiny, really intense. It's almost like a white gold as well. I just like white gold, pinky tones, and peach. That's pretty much all I have. And then I have this Gimme Glow highlighter from Essence. This is in Lovely Rose. This is another pinky tone that I do really enjoy, but that I don't reach for. So this is another one where I'm like, yes, it's good. I like this. Let me swatch it next to the... It's more of a rose gold compared to the Dior. So now we have a lot of sun coming in, which is not helping with the glare here. But yeah, that's a really pretty one as well. Kiko, which one is it? It's the Ultimate Glow Highlighter in shade 2. These are no longer around, or they have been reformulated. I do know that because I was in store a couple of weeks ago and I saw these. They looked really similar, but they had a different name. So I don't think you can still get this exact thing. But this was another thing that I really enjoyed in terms of like a more peachy, corally thing. It's a little bit more pink than a Nabla. The Nabla is a bit more orange. But I believe the shade was called Coral by Kiko. And here we have the Hourglass highlighter that I love. This is the Iridescent Strobe Light highlighter. This was one so many people at the time didn't like. I've had mine for years. It's still going strong. I'm not about to hit pan on this or anything. And it's one of the best, more subtle highlighters. Again, a little bit more of a peachy pink, I now see. And it's got a little bit like a really soft focus sparkle to it. Sigma one was sent to me in PR. This is in Sizzle, and this is beautiful. It's a beautiful highlighter, but this is so warm toned. It's essentially a rose gold, and I used to love rose gold highlighters, but this is not really for me anymore. It's so dark, so dark. I mean, essentially it does do something similar to, what was this one again? Cookie, but it's like even more orange than that. And this is the Glitter Baked highlighter from Kiko. You can see my camera there and the reflection. This is a really nice, like brighter, sparkly thing. And it keeps sparkling. I thought that the sparkles may just be an overspray, but they're not. It keeps being this sparkly as you're using it. Which, if I'm putting it right here, can you see that? It is really subtle though. It does have a bit of a sparkle, but to me it's like the powder version of the Fenty Beauty, if that makes sense. So I hope you can see this a bit better. This is by Rare Beauty. This is the Enlighten highlighter. This is the powder highlighter that they start doing. These are really soft and fragile. Don't travel with these because they're gonna break. And this is essentially like a white highlighter. Then this guy right here by Kiko is another one I hit pan on in 2024. This is the Glow Fusion in shade 1. I've had this for years. I love this thing to pieces. It's gotten very thin on the bottom. So yeah, this is another one of my favorites. So it's a bit more subtle, and that's what I tend to go for these days. Then we have this one from Lily by Red. This is a K-Beauty brand. This is the Love Beam Glow Veil in 02. And this is what it looks like. I just feel like it's more of a cream to powder sort of formula. It's got a really pretty heart shape, but it's essentially just a pinky highlighter, which I have so many of. So I don't really need this, and I don't love the formula of this. This is another K-Beauty one. This is by Colorgram. I'm not sure if you can read that there, but this is the Milk Bling Heart Lighter in shade 2. Which I thought was a twist-off cap one day when I was using it, and it wasn't, so I ruined it completely. And this is another one of those pinky highlighters that I already have a million times over. I just wanted to try the brand to see if I like it. Let me put it here. It does have a really nice like iridescent sparkle to it, so I do really appreciate that. But it is a good formula. It's just, if I hadn't broken it, I would have liked it so much better. And then these are the final two powder highlighters I have. These were sent to me by What's Up Beauty. These are their Serengeti highlighters. This is Wild Acacia, which I thought was going to be my favorite because it's their lighter one. But the one I liked best was Safari Sunset, which is deeper, which I had not expected. But I usually blend these shades together, so there's a pink and a warm tone, and here as well it's like a pinky tone and like a champagne, like white gold kind of thing. These are really stunning as well. So here's the lighter one, and here's the deeper one. The deeper one is a little bit more peach. So these are lovely. They're a really creamy, rich formula. Unlike anything I had ever tried, it's definitely a different formula in terms of highlighter with these. And then I have some creams for you. This is a dupe for this. This is by Studio London, which you can find at Superdrug in the UK. And this is by RMS Beauty. This is the Living Luminizer, which is one of the best subtle highlighters on the planet. But what I have found with my RMS Beauty products is if I don't use them for a while, they get a little bit goopy. So I hope this still works. I think it does. Where am I going to put you? Let me put you right here. So this is essentially like a face gloss. And this is as well, this is their face gloss, right? That's what it's called. Yes. And this is very, very creamy. So you really don't have to like shell out the money for the RMS, but I do feel that the Superdrug version is a bit stickier. Like these just essentially look like glass skin. And then I have these two Sydney Grace highlighters. These are little cream in a pot things. Got Sugar Cookie and Paradise on Ice. Paradise on Ice I didn't purchase myself, but it was gifted to me by one of my subscribers because she had it left from a subscription I think she got. So it's just a slightly deeper pink, and the other one is a little bit lighter. So we'll put that. This is the lighter one from Sydney Grace, and here is the deeper one from Sydney Grace. And then we have this little cubby left. So the cubby is from IKEA, just in case if you were curious. Most of my makeup collection organizers are from IKEA. And these are all of my liquids and creams. Liquids and creams. So one of my favorites has been this Rare Beauty number. This is their liquid highlighter in the shade Mesmerize. You just get so much product that you will never ever be able to use this up though. But I do really like the way this looks. It is a little bit more peachy toned again. Then I have this Kiko Milano limited edition highlighter. This is from the Stellar Love collection, and this is beautiful. This is so, so pretty. Let me swatch it right here. It's a little bit more pink. Really beautiful, shears out lovely. And then I think my Glossier Halo Scope has actually expired. It smells, it's starting to smell funky. It's not like that really sort of Play-Doh-y smell just yet, but it's getting there, and it's getting a little tough to swatch. So I've put it right here. Again, very much that glass skin sort of thing. You can see how much I've used this. Like, it's absolutely gross, but there's still so much product left. And I've had this for years, so I'm not sure if I would ever repurchase this though, because I don't think I could get through it before it expires. Just being real here. This is the Baby Got Glow from Essence, sorry. This is Sassy and Silk. That's what it looks like. It's just not light enough for me, I think. I like it, it's a really good one. I really enjoy these products in the squeezy tubes that are like the Charlotte Tilbury things. I really like all of them, but I think the highlighter is my least favorite thing from the line. I like the bronzer and the blushes more. Let's do this then. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand in Spotlight. And I do like this, but it is that sort of Nars Fort de France kind of thing. So here you have that, but it is beautiful. And then I have one of the highlighters from e.l.f., the Halo Glow in Rose Quartz. This was too dark. And these I have found, like this one doesn't look separated, but my bronzer that I swatched the other day for you was very much separated. So I'm trying to put it here, but that's just a little bit too deep for me. And this is one of the like fair skin friendly shades from the line. And that's something I have found with a lot of e.l.f. stuff, that it's not actually fair skin friendly, even if they say so. And these were the first dupes I found for the Charlotte Tilbury stuff. These are from the limited edition Villains collection that Catrice did a couple of years ago. The Cruella and the Maleficent. The Maleficent one is my favorite of the two. At least it's the lightest. And it's still good to go. Really nice light shade, really nice, and very similar to Spotlight, I find. So that was a good dupe. And then the Cruella one is, I think, really close to the e.l.f. one, but lighter. Do you see that? This is a little bit more peachy tone, and that's a little bit more pink tone. So I think with those, I think the e.l.f. one can go, and then I'll keep the Cruella one because that's also older. So those are all of my highlighters swatched out for you. All right, so those were all of the highlighters I wanted to show you in today's video. That's everything I own. Again, a category where I feel I can just cull some things, but here is again the overview of all of the different swatches I've done for you. I do apologize for the lighting in this video, but we are having rain and then sunshine, and sometimes when it's raining I need to throw on my studio lighting, and then the sun comes out again, and then I need to close my blind. It's just a bit of a mess. It's January as I'm filming it, which is not the best time of the year to be filming, but it's the only time I have time to film anything like this. So thank you so very much for joining me here today. I still have a couple of these left for you. We're still gonna do blushes. I'm still gonna swatch out all of my lip products. If you were curious after these things, I do have reviews up with all of these things over on the blog. So I'll link you to my highlighter category so you can look any of these up if you wanna see what they look like on the face. And I'll have a little shopping link for you as well. So if you want to buy any of the ones that are still available, then you can go through my affiliate link program, and I could make a small commission if you do choose to shop through there. But yeah, that's sort of what I had for you today. Please bear in mind that besides these makeup collection videos, I am also doing regular videos on the channel. 4 times a week you can expect another video from me as well. So if you'd like to stay tuned for more of my content, and then I really hope you have a great day. Thumbs up this video in the meantime if you enjoyed it. If not, that's also fine, but then I hope to see you again really, really soon in my next video. Bye-bye.